Manvantare Harir Janma Karmani Cha Mahiyasha Grinanti Kavayo Brahmams Tani no Veda Vada Shunvatam. So, they are saying, the sages to Shukdev Goswami, Saunakadi sages, that we are eager to hear. Very eager. Like all of you have come. That eagerness is there. Just like people, if there is a cricket match is going, they are very eager to hear the scores, isn't it? Very eager. Really eager. So, like that, Vaishnavas are Shrotukaman. They are eager to hear about Krishna. And they say, you tell us. Why you should tell? Because you are a learned Brahmana. Oh, learned Brahmana, Shukadeva. You are learned. Very much great Pandita. Of course, Pandita in the transcendental sense, not material sense. It's a great Kavi, Shukadeva Goswami, great poet, a quality of the Vaishnava. And you will tell us what other greatly learned personalities were completely intelligent, they can describe. Completely intelligent means they can understand Krishna in Nana Vida Prakar, in so many ways. There is no limit. Give me a coin. Any coin somebody should give me. Paisa. So, so this is said they are very clearly right hand side. Thank you. So, they are very clearly saying why they are listening. They are not simply listening, somebody speak and we will listen. And they are saying, Harer Janma Karmanicha Mahiyashaha. Krishna's appearance and activities. Mahiyasha means very glorified. Oh, he is born, is glorified. Of course, in the material world also, when people become little famous, they are born in a country that's taken very proudly. Oh, in our country was born so and so. Kalidasa was born like that. But Krishna's appearance and activities, Janma karma cha me divyam, mine are transcendental. Yesterday somebody came to my office, he was discussing, and he said, of course, Krishna was born, right, 5,000 years ago. I said, no, it is not correct. So I said, why? I gave the example that Prabhupada has given, that if you go in the morning to the sea, then you see the sun, it appears like it's coming out of the ocean. But it has no connection to the ocean. It is far away. But it appears like. Similarly, Krishna seems to appear in Bharatadesh, but he is far away. And Prabhupada in one purport in Bhagavatam says, just like the Prime Minister is in Delhi, but he can appear in your room, in the house, because the technology is there and the TV appears and he can speak. Prabhupada says Krishna is like that. From the spiritual world, his glories are broadcast. It is revealed. Pastimes are revealed. It's very difficult to understand. I don't claim I understand. It is said, we can only repeat. But we should remember, we may not know what it means. Just because there is example, it doesn't mean we understand. Because we also don't know how the TV works. Most people don't know how the TV works. So just because it is said like TV is coming, now I understand. No, we understand a little bit, but we really don't understand. So Krishna's appearance is transcendental. It has nothing to do with the goings on of the world, and Prabhupada said that Just because sun has appeared in India now, it is not an Indian sun. And in the evening it will appear in America, it is not American sun. It's the same sun. And it has nothing to do with either India or America. Similarly, Krishna, just because he appears in India, is not an Indian god. Or he appears in another planet, he is God there. He is transcendental. Very difficult to understand. What does it mean? How? So, you see, and they are saying, we want to hear about this. But he was saying, nobody appeared 5,000 years ago means, even if it is there, he is part of the world. No, how? The sun is not part of this world. If the sun comes to this world, everything will be burnt. The sun is appearing on earth, but in a very different way. So I gave him the example. Suppose there is actually a puppet show and there are many puppets. All life size, 6 feet puppets are there. And suppose you also come there and stand and dance just like the puppets. You are real. The others are puppets. So Krishna, even when he comes to the material world, his body is not made of blood and bone. It is transcendental, Satchitananda Vigraha. So how that Satchitananda Vigraha has appeared amongst us? They want to know. It is not only that he has appeared, but many, many incarnations have appeared. Unlimited. Prabhupada says that you can count the number of oceans and the waves in the ocean, but the incarnations cannot be counted. Constantly they are coming throughout the creation. We don't know how this is happening. And therefore we want to hear, even the great sages are saying we want to hear because we have not completely understood. These are great sages, but they are saying, Shukadeva Goswami, you please describe. We want to hear, because by hearing more and more and more, we will understand. So it is an oral tradition. Why is it an oral tradition? Because we cannot simply by reading learn music. I have given this example before. A teacher has to teach you orally because it's practical. Similarly, by reading, we cannot understand Krishna. We have to hear from those whose intelligence is perfect. Therefore, when we speak, at least I speak, my intelligence is not perfect. So I can say, please hear the intelligent person, Prabhupada. That hearing must be there. And that hearing must be done. This is the importance of actually the temples. Here there is a letter by Prabhupada, isn't it? I just got this letter. It is to Giriraj Swami. He is written from Tokyo in 1972. He is saying, in Bombay there are many generous persons who like food distribution programs, and actually our temple should be the via media for feeding the poor with food and spiritual knowledge. Our Bombay program should be based on giving Krishna consciousness through the English medium and distribution of prasadam without any discrimination. This will enhance our prestige and will accelerate our spiritual life as well. In another letter also Prabhupada has written that classes in Bombay should be given in English. So, Prabhupada was very important, this Bhagavatam class is meant for learning philosophy. How many of you were not here yesterday? How many of you were not here yesterday? How many of you were here yesterday? Others I don't know. So the point is that yesterday we heard so many pastimes, beautiful pastimes of Srila Ramanujacharya. By the way, I'm told his appearance day is May 5th. I don't know how it is here, but anyway, you can check it out. So the point is that we may hear, but no, only you can put that other one, the moon, only the translation. Make sure that the purport doesn't appear. Go down. The purport is here. Yes. Oh, okay. Can you make it a little bigger? Just this page. There. No. Go down. No. Scroll this down. Go down. Remove the purport, I said, from the screen. And on the right side, there is a thing, and make that bigger. Anyway, make it as big as possible without the purport. So, we are hearing so many things. And yesterday, one pastime that I described of Ramanujacharya, which is that he had, an Acharya is known by the quality of his followers also. Of course, he is independent of that. Still, we should be in such a way that our thing should bring further glory to Srila Prabhupada. And I was describing the characteristics of the dealings between Sri Ramanujacharya and Kuresa, a disciple. And I was explaining how once, because he had great Guru Bhakti, but people didn't believe in it, so therefore Ramanujacharya arranged for that to be shown, and he was dictating Sri Bhashya, which is to defeat Advaita philosophy, and he gave some purport and Kuresa did not write. And then Ramanujacharya asked why he didn't write, and he said that this is actually Mayavad's philosophy, so I will not write. And everybody was very surprised. You heard that story, right? Yesterday it was there. Now, the philosophy is so difficult that it is not so, we may feel that I think we know sufficiently philosophy to spot Mayavadi philosophy. But it is very difficult. We have to be careful. Here is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. I don't know what canto it is. Anji? 3:7:11, 3rd canto, 7th chapter, 11th verse. And here the verse is saying that just as the moon reflected on water appears to the seer to tremble due to being associated with the quality of water. Moon is reflecting on water, water is trembling, moon looks like trembling, but the moon is not trembling. Similarly, the self associated with matter appears to be qualified as matter. In other words, whatever happens to the matter, we think it's happening to us. Matter, material bodies are born and dying, we think we are born. We know that philosophy. So in this example, what is water compared to? Water is analogy for what? Body or matter, right? How many of you agree that water is connected to? Why everybody is not raising the hands? How many of you agree, raise your right hand? Those who don't agree, raise your left hand. So that way everybody has to raise. Those who agree, raise your right hand. Those who don't agree, raise your left hand. Everybody should do one or the other. Good. So, water is compared. And the moon is compared to? Soul. So, how many of you agree the moon is compared to soul? And raise your right hand. And those who don't agree, raise your left hand. Right. So, everybody is raising the right hand. And I also, when I read this purport, I also thought that moon was self. So, I am no different from all of you. I am not trying to present myself as different. Are you following? So, it's okay if we make a mistake, but we should learn. And it is not a mistake. It is reasonable in this to infer. It is not a mistake at all, because it clearly says, just like the moon reflected on water seems to tremble but does not tremble, so the self associated with matter appears to be qualified as matter. You see? If we gave a class, I think everybody in the movement will talk about the soul as the moon. Right? You agree, Sandipani Muni? Now go please one sentence up. Grantaraj Prabhu, purport. First sentence. Little bit more. Little bit more. Okay. The purport says the Supreme Soul, the personality of Godhead, is compared to the moon in the sky. Prabhupada is writing that the moon, in this verse, the moon is the Supreme Personality of God. Only an Acharya can write this. Do we agree with this? How many of you are surprised? Raise your right hand. Those who are not surprised, raise your left hand. Keep your hand up. I want to see. Come on. Prabhu. You're speaking on the phone or listening? Why are you having a cell phone? Anyway, keep your hands up. Yeah, surprised. That is required. We can never write this sentence. We should remember this. I'm humbly begging you. See, we should learn. So, normally I don't prepare my classes. See, I just come. Today I have very carefully prepared, which I probably have very rarely I have done, if ever. Because I want to convey something. Therefore, my humble request is you hear carefully because it is important. And it is very important to get surprised by this. And what should be our conclusion? Conclusion is not only it is surprising, that we actually don't know the full philosophy. It is okay to say moon is compared. That's not wrong. It is reasonable. But we won't be able to say the moon is actually compared to the Lord here. Are you following this point? Are you following this point? This we must take into the heart very carefully. And I am begging you, this is the lesson to be learned, not Siddhanta. Oh, how did Prabhupada say moon is compared? That is later. This one sentence should be sufficient to say, oh, in my life I will never be able to start the purport with this idea. Right? This is also correct. The moon is also correct. This is also correct. But we don't know how this is correct. Are you following? Vasudevam Sarvam Iti. It's a great philosophy is here. Extraordinary Krishna consciousness alone can make a person write this. That in this verse. Anybody can write. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada said that my purports are my ecstasies. Normally he is giving simple philosophy. Right now he is suddenly zoning out and he is just saying, this is moon is coming. That means he has decided to reveal some very high part of our Siddhanta. This kind of ecstasies we should get when we see that. So it is actually becomes a subject matter for meditating on the Acharya. Dhyayam stuvam stasya yashas trisandhyam. All the time. So here is up. Therefore, when properly read, these Bhagavatam verses and purports are not only an opportunity to meditate on Sri Krishna, but also on Prabhupada. Because Prabhupada, if you see throughout, is giving dazzling and we miss them. Now, from this viewpoint, to say the moon is self is like to say the self is God. Because the moon is God here, but I am comparing it to the self. That is Mayavad philosophy. We could say like that because it is actually God is being talked to, but we are thinking I am being talked to. So, I am not saying this is okay, but we can think like that. At least I think like that. Oh, it means I could also mistakenly present Mayavad philosophy. Where God is being talked, I am misunderstanding for myself. No harm in thinking like that. It makes us more humble. In other words, I am saying, please do not think that Mayavada philosophy is something that we will never fall prey to. It comes in many, many, many different shades. It is said, I have not read it myself, but it seems reasonably possible, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu once asked the 6 Goswamis, what is wrong with Mayavadi philosophy? Why you are all doing content of Mayavad's philosophy? What is wrong? And the Goswamis replied. When they replied, Lord Chaitanya defeated all their arguments. The Goswamis. Then the Goswami said, okay, my dear Lord, you tell what is the correct. Then the Lord gave defeat of his own arguments, establishing Vaishnava Siddhanta. Then he defeated those using Advaita philosophy, Mayavad. And he did that 60 times. 60 times he defeated like that. Extremely subtle. Therefore, this philosophy has to be learnt very, very properly. And if we, therefore in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela 2117, there is Adi Leela 2117, Siddhanta Baliya Chitte na kara alash, yo haite Krishna lage sudruda manasa. Siddhanta Baliya Chitte na kara alash. Saying this is Siddhanta, okay, philosophy. Who wants philosophy? We want to hear about Krishna stories. Na kare alas. Do not actually neglect the discussions. If you actually focus on Siddhanta, Krishna lage sudruda manasa, you will get attracted to Krishna. Because now you know who is Krishna, the more Siddhanta you study. A sincere student should not neglect the discussion of such conclusions, considering them to be controversial, for such discussions strengthen the mind. Thus one's mind becomes attached to Sri Krishna. You see? And the purport Srila Prabhupada says, there are many students who, in spite of reading the Bhagavad Gita, misunderstand Krishna because of imperfect knowledge and conclude him to be an ordinary historical personality. This one must not do. One should be particularly careful to understand the truth about Krishna. If because of laziness one does not come to know Krishna conclusively, one will be misguided about the cult of devotion if you don't understand the Siddhanta. Like those who declare themselves advanced devotees and imitate the transcendental symptoms sometimes observed in liberated souls. We will pass ourselves as, great gurus or, great teachers like that. But we may not know philosophy. Although suppose somebody says, no, he's a good preacher. I have seen him preach. He has defeated so many people with so many nice arguments. Right? Prabhupada has given, and Prabhupada says, although the use of thoughts and arguments is a most suitable process for inducing an uninitiated person to become a devotee, neophytes in devotional service must always alertly understand Krishna through the vision of the revealed scriptures. In other words, just because we have learnt the basic arguments and we can give a class on those arguments, Prabhupada says, that doesn't mean you have learnt the philosophy. Unless one hears about Sri Krishna from authorities, one cannot make advancement in devotion to Sri Krishna. So, the essential purpose of Bhagavatam, so what I was trying to show is that when Kuresa spotted a Mayavad argument that Ramanujacharya was giving intentionally, we must know that his grasp of philosophy is very good. In other words, nobody else spotted it. Everybody else thought it was a devotional argument. But Kuresa alone spotted that. And I am showing that here is an example where you might have never spotted what is the correct Siddhanta. Because we all thought that, moon is being compared to the self. So explicit the verse. But you have to go home and read the purport. But before you read, we must be wonderstruck and say, Ascharyam, wow, how did Srila Prabhupada write like this? Isn't it? Isn't it amazing? Very amazing. Prabhupada saying like that. So, this is why I am saying, please, try to understand. And there is a very interesting room conversation of Prabhupada that our Sevatula Prabhu showed me. And I told him today, just somehow he showed me before during the Kirtan. And since I was already going in this direction, this was very good. So it must be Krishna's will that this should be read. That in modern times, either Hindus also, Muslims or Christian, because in these places there is no teaching of philosophy. Temple means there must be teaching of philosophy, and that too properly. Therefore they are closing either mosque or temple or church. They will close. Then Prabhupada says, yes, that is preaching. Therefore we are writing so many books. Unless we take care of the books and preach and read ourselves, understand the philosophy, this Hare Krishna will be finished within few years. Prabhupada is saying. That's so important. Prabhupada is saying this. December 12, 1973 in Los Angeles. Because there will be no life. How long can one go on artificially? Hare Krishna, Hari Bol. That will be artificial, no life. Prabhupada is saying. So, this understanding Siddhanta is quite important. I forgot, I wanted that SPR to be here. I think we didn't bring it. SPR. You have that article on the computer. Huh? Give it to me, please. One copy. So again I want to say that. So, we may say Manvantaras. But who are Manus? Is this story or real? All deep Siddhanta. What is the nature of space? What is the nature of time? These are all described in the third canto of Bhagavatam. We should know that. According to modern science, the universe is trillions and trillions and trillions of miles and unlimitedly big. But according to Bhagavatam, it's 4 billion miles. The scientists are measuring distance by light years. How much the light will travel in 1 second is 3 lakh some miles per second. You say like that, light has travelled 3 lakh miles. At that speed, suppose light goes for 1 year, how much distance it will cover? Right? Lot? Light year? Do you know? So, they measure distance in light years. How many years light has to travel to go to that? And there are million light years. Like that speed, million years to travel to get to different galaxies. They are saying universe is that big. But Bhagavatam says it is only 4 billion miles, which is not much, the diameter of the universe. Now, how can it be right? Are you following the question? How many, those who think it's an important or interesting question, raise your right hand. Those who don't, raise your left hand. Okay. It's an interesting question. Thank you so much. It's interesting. So, there is a difference between two different concepts of distance. This is what it is meant by saying persons who are completely intelligent. I was telling you, they can connect anything and everything to Krishna and perfectly explain. So, I don't say that I know this perfectly, but I'll just give one point so that you can appreciate it. The rest of the points are also difficult, but there is more than that also that I don't know. So, all these are there. I know a little bit and beyond, but everything cannot be discussed in an open class like this. But beyond what I can say also, there is more that I also don't know. So, we should be very, very conscious of the fact that we don't know, otherwise we cannot preach. So, I am humbly begging, but please kindly understand this process. And the point is that there are two ways that you can talk about distance. If I say he is there, you can measure the distance, right? He's there. And there is one person right behind him. Where is he? I can also say he's also there. So how he's also there and he's also there? Isn't it? If I have to point out where is he, I'll say he's there. And if they ask where is that other person, what is your name, Prabhu? No, your name? Huh? Jai Murari Das. You? No, the person to your right, behind you. Huh? What? Rajesh. So, suppose some people ask, where is Jai Murari Das? I'll say he's there. And they'll say, where is Rajesh? I'll say he's there. Same, this is there. Now, where is that there mean? There in... So, Bhagavatam is measuring distance one way. And science is describing distance another way. And you are measuring distance probably the scientific way. How can you understand how the world is 4 billion miles? Are you following this point? Are you following? When you say he is there, you mean only he is there because you mean a position. And that person cannot be there in the position sense. But in another sense, he is there. And that is, I'm not fully explaining. Also, it's a little confidential. Scientifically, we are working on this. There are enough people to misuse this idea. So I'm doing this for Prabhupada, so I have to be very careful. I cannot just speak. But I think you got the idea that there are two senses in which you can think of there. You got the idea, no? So you please understand that Bhagavatam is talking about distance a different way. Science is talking distance at present in a different way. And our intuitions now are corresponding to science, which is not correct. Then how can we understand Bhagavatam? This is the point. So, when these people, they can completely describe everything. So, if you go and ask them how the universe is only 4 billion miles, they can explain. All these sages are perfect. Therefore, when it is said completely intelligent, they are never bewildered. Everything they know matter, spirit, God, everything perfectly. You see? So, it is there. So, this hearing is very important. Just like music, you have to hear, you cannot read. The teacher has to teach and you have to. Because when you hear, you get the Shakti to sing. You may not be yourself able to know what to do. Then the teacher sings, you can repeat, otherwise you cannot repeat. The very important point. When you hear from the right source, you get the Shakti. When you read, you may get Shakti, but that is not pure. Suppose that you say, the teacher teaches, now you sing, Samagama, Riga, Maga, Sari, Gama, Riga, Pampa, something he says. We may not say right, but we can repeat. Slowly, that Shakti will come. That Shakti is Krishna Shakti. Krishna Shakti bina nahi. If you see a cat and a tiger are the same, right? A leopard and a tiger are the same, correct? Have you seen a leopard? Leopard को हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं? Cheetah. हाँ? हाँ जी? 1%. You say cheetah. So cheetah is leopard, and tiger is whatever it is. So cheetah and tiger, you see, they are same. If you see, more or less same body, same power, everything. But the cheetah can climb a tree fadafat, but the tiger cannot. The tiger has the same mechanical strength as the leopard. The leopard can go even from childhood, but the tiger cannot. Why? But he has got the energy, no? Therefore, that climbing energy is different from physical energy. Just by physical energy, you cannot climb. That energy to climb that thing is different from the muscle energy that is coming from Krishna. And Krishna is giving it to the leopard, not to tiger. Paurisham Rishu, Krishna says. I am the ability in human beings. That means in everything. You also have a voice. I also have a voice. Bhimsen Joshi also has a voice. But he can use that voice and sing. You and I cannot. So singing is not simply mechanically using your voice. It's a singing energy. It is coming from Krishna. Baby also has got energy. He cannot walk. And one day he is able to walk. Krishna has given. So when you walk, do not think that you are walking because now you have eaten, you can walk. No. This is Krishna consciousness, that you have to feel that only by Krishna's energy I am walking. Only by Krishna's energy, mercy, I am seeing. Only by Krishna's energy I am breathing. It's a fact. This is Krishna consciousness. So, this process of hearing gives Shakti, you cannot understand unless you also understand that every other Shakti is coming to me from Krishna. This is Siddhanta. Are you following this point? Krishna consciousness means learning to see Krishna everywhere, but scientifically. There is a question that people ask in a field called artificial intelligence. Suppose you give a monkey a typewriter and he goes on typing randomly. Can he write Kalidasa's poetry or Shakespeare's play? Suppose unlimited time is given. Can it come up? It involves probabilities and all that. It's a deep question. It's not a simple question. But you cannot answer that question unless you understand that the typing, when you are typing properly, the typing involves not only just hitting, but also Krishna's energy to type is there. Because it's Shakti. Parasya Shaktir Vividaiva Sruyate. Unlimited energies Krishna has. Are you understanding the point? So you have to meditate. We have to meditate. How is it that from Krishna I have got all these energies? This is Siddhanta. And if you don't hear the Siddhanta, but only hear stories about Krishna, we may not understand. Therefore, Prabhupada says, you may give arguments and all that. You may also say he's reading books. Right. But one must actually, unless one hears about Krishna from authorities, one cannot make advancement in devotion. This hearing must be there. That hearing gives the potency to think about Krishna. But if we think on our own way, it will be only speculation. And by the way, scientists don't speculate. You have to understand. Scientists do not speculate in this way that we try to understand our own mind. They don't do that. That is why they are so powerful. So when Prabhupada says scientists speculate, you have to know why they are speculators. How many are, if you are surprised that scientists don't speculate? Please put your right hand. Those who are not surprised, put your left hand up. If you are surprised, put your right hand up. Why are you not raising it? Raise your hand. You should answer when a question is okay. I don't know otherwise how. Scientists don't speculate like that. Because the scientists appeal to nature. They never say any statement unless it can be verified by observations. So when they make a theory, they can prove consequences. Phalena parichyate. Vedas also say that. But we may say anything. There is no testing. So scientists can say you are speculating. But someone like Prabhupada, he can actually show results. Then why did Prabhupada say scientists speculate? Because scientists make theories that they themselves accept. We don't know whether it's right or wrong. But we will test it by asking nature through experiment. And nature is God. So they are getting information from God via nature as to whether their theories are right or wrong. But they start with the idea that their theories could be potentially wrong. It is called the principle of falsifiability. That was given by Karl Popper. So that is why Prabhupada said you are speculating. But we start with things that we know to be correct because it's revealed knowledge. Are you following? But if you don't know how to show definite proof of consequences, we are speculating. But Prabhupada or people like that are not speculating. So we must understand that when we simply try to read the books and think, we are speculating. And I'm doing scientific work, I never speculate. Somebody recently said, speculating, like scientific word jugglery. No, scientists don't do word jugglery. Don't be a fool and make such comments. Otherwise, they could not be controlling the whole. And the person who is saying it is also on the cell phone. They're not speculating, they got a cell phone, it works. How you say that? You should know how they are speculating. They say, we will begin with, is this clear? They begin with theories that they accept can be provisionally wrong. But we don't do like that. But that is only if you understand the philosophy. Are you following, sir? It's important or not important? Anji? Very, very important. We simply say scientists are speculators. We are imitating Prabhupada. They are not speculators. They got proof, they say. But we can get better proof. How we are doing, that's a different matter. So, I'm trying to say that, Prabhupada, therefore, Prabhupada can give so many surprises. So, I want to again read this little thing because I'm thinking about this myself. I'm wondering, Prabhupada is so great. Where is this verse? Where is that thing? Revati Nandan dialogue, here it is. So, you remember I have read this conversation with Prabhupada and Revati Nandan. How many of you have heard it? Put your right hand. Those who have heard. Very few. Those who have not heard, put your left hand up. At least this time they are raising. So, you heard it? Yellow shirt, Pune wala. Have you heard this verse? Revati Nandan Swami Prabhupada. You have heard? So, Revati Nandan Swami says to Prabhupada, there is a distinction between the nature of the soul and the nature of the body. Prabhupada says, no, you cannot make a clear distinction. That's Achintya Beda Beda. They are simultaneously one and different. And he says, this is not for public, higher understanding. And he says that there is no difference is higher philosophy. That there is no difference between soul and body is higher philosophy. But that means we must know that philosophy is very important. Now, in the Bhagavatam, so you see, we have to, in the Bhagavatam there is this verse. Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 5th chapter, 20th verse. Idam hi vishvam bhagavan ivetaro. The Supreme Lord Personality of Godhead is Himself this cosmos. And he is still aloof from it. The Supreme Lord, Personality of Godhead, is Himself the cosmos. It has not come from His energies. It has come, but He is Himself. So, idam He, the word He means certainly. In the Bhagavatam, that is, Eva is also certainly. He is also certainly in Sanskrit. Right? But they have different meanings. They have reference. Suppose if they use cha, it refers to Mahabharat. Like that, there is some conventions are there. If he says he, it refers to certain Purana. In this way, Kuta Bhasha is there. We may not be such scholars to understand, but those who know, who are perfectly intelligent, they can quickly go reference. Just like when we read this verse and I say 1520, you know where to see. So 1520 refers. It's not just numbers. If you see 3 numbers, you know it's actually Bhagavatam. If you see 2 numbers, you know it's Chaitanya Charitamrita. So everything has got something. So the words themselves have, meaning. So idam hi vishwam. He means certainly. Krishna himself is the universe. That means, what I am saying is that when you say Vishwarupa, universal form, that is imagination. But when we say Krishna is the world, it's not imagination, it is. In other words, Krishna is non-different from the cosmos. Non-different. This is our Siddhanta. So, Prabhupada also says in a class, Bhagavatam class, Narada Muni said to Vyasadeva, Idam hi Vishwam, this whole universe is God, Prabhupada says. The whole universe is God, not God's energy. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, but the universe appears like different. This is Siddhanta. When you understand Siddhanta, Bhagavatam says, your attraction to Krishna will get improved. And this Siddhanta comes through sound. And that sound will act. Exactly like medicine, when you take, the medicine acts. It is not dependent on your power. The medicine has power. Similarly, proper sound heard from authorities, it has the power to make you get attracted to Krishna. That is why we should hear. And that hearing should be from those who know the Siddhanta. Who know not only soul and body are different, but soul and body are non-different. So Krishna, now I am going to a little more important point. I can take few more minutes, is that okay? So we want to understand Krishna. So Krishna is also the universe. Aham Atma Gudakesa. Krishna says, I am the soul of the universe. Just like we are the soul of this body, Krishna is the soul of the universe. Everything functions because of him, but he is simultaneously one and different from the creation. He is himself the creation. It is a very deep point. Let me give you an example. We all say God created the world. Just like a carpenter out of wood, he makes a table. So out of material energy, God has made this world. That is Veda. There is a creator and the created. We know the difference. That is conceivable. Because no wood by itself will become a table. You understand? So we say, how can scientists say matter by itself has created world? No, it's wrong. We say like that. Are you following? That argument is wrong. We don't know that. And Prabhupada never will, Prabhupada knows all that, therefore. Because when Krishna makes the universe, he is non-different from the universe. But when a carpenter makes a table, it looks like he is different, but he is the same. Similarly, when you make a body, you are making the body by your karma. You are simultaneously one and different from the body. You can never know you are not the body. That's why we think I am the body. Why am I thinking I am the body? Because I have created this body. How did I create the body? Through karma. Krishna describes that in the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Isn't it? That it is, karma is that which creates the bodies. Janma karma is coming because of karma that is there. Therefore, you must understand this point that when you say you are not the body, you should understand you are the body because you have created this body. There is no difference between the creator and the created. So you cannot simply by ordinary arguments like, body is changing, I am not changing, I am not the body. No. You can say these arguments and you can make a lot of devotees, but we will never realize I am not the body. Because you have to understand the higher philosophy. Are you following? There is no difference between the creator and the created. Idam hi Vishwam. It's all science. It's not simple. Our philosophy is not simple. How many of you are following this point? Put your hands up. Those who don't follow, put your left hand. Good. You see? I'm glad you're following. I'm just trying to beg you. Please, I also don't know much, but I'm just saying. Do not think that you can understand the Siddhanta in any other way than hearing from the Acharya. No other way you can learn. Therefore, Prabhupada says that all of you can. So, therefore, Prabhupada writes here that although the use of thoughts and arguments is a most suitable process for inducing an uninitiated. Prabhupada has given so many arguments and we preach, I'm not the body. But if you don't understand how you are the body, you cannot understand how you are not the body. So Krishna, the yoga means to realize to be always situated in the position that I am not the body. Right? Are you following this point? Yoga means to separate yourself from the body, even though you created that body and you are identical with the body. You are following? It's interesting or not interesting? Huh? This is so simply don't go on. Oh, fools are thinking we are the bodies, we are not the bodies. No. Prabhupada says, if you take beyond birth and death, the first chapter is titled, We Are Not the Bodies. The first sentence Prabhupada says, anyone who wants to make advancement in Krishna consciousness, true advancement, must understand I am not the body. What he didn't write there and he has written here is that if you want to make further advancement, you must realize you are the body. You see? So Prabhupada says that although you can use arguments to make devotees, right, one must alertly understand Krishna through the vision of revealed scriptures and bona fide devotees and the spiritual master. And the spiritual master means here Prabhupada. One cannot make advancement in devotion to Sri Krishna without hearing from authorities. So we should think that just making devotees, we went to college, we convinced somebody. This is not enough. You are remaining ignorant. You will never understand I am not the body. You may be there for 30 years, 40 years in the movement. So I am trying to say that Krishna says that I myself, it's a very important point Krishna makes. Krishna says, Pashyame yogam aishwaram. Krishna himself is telling Arjuna, Pashyame, behold my mystic opulence, that my very self is everything, but I am different. In other words, Krishna is Achyuta. He can never fall down. This is Krishna, you cannot understand. Krishna always knows everything is different from me. But everything is me. Krishna also knows that. He is telling Arjuna, learn to appreciate me. I am the only one in that position. Pashyame yogam aishwaram. I am the only one who is naturally always situated in my own glory. Asya mahimanam is always there. But me, I am completely in this Deha Yoga. I think I am the body. How many of you accept that we are completely in the bodily consciousness? Put your hand up. Those who are liberated, put your left hand up. See? We must never forget this, that we are conditioned souls who don't even know that we are the bodies. Write this down. This is Krishna consciousness. This is Siddhanta. It's not an ordinary philosophy. People always complain that you comes and gives class and everything is confusing. Today, that's why I made notes and came. Because I wanted to convey some point. I'm not going anywhere else. Wherever I want to go, I'm stopping. Is it those who think the class is clear, put your right hand up. Not clear, put your left hand up. You may not understand everything. It's not possible. I also don't understand what I'm talking. It's not, we are fools. Let us never forget we are fools. Please don't get angry because I'm saying we, not you. Right? Om ajnana timirandasya. You understand now what is our ignorance? Our ignorance is so deep that we think have knowledge. You are thinking you have understood you are not the body, but you have not understood you are the body. Now, how can I understand I am not the body? Because you must link to the only person in the entire existence who knows he is not this creation. Who is he? Loudly, no sound. Who is the only? The only self-realized person is who? Nothing. Krishna. Say that loudly. This is called devotee. I don't understand. Krishna is the only person. Atma Ramasya Muni. Krishna is Atma Rama. You don't understand Krishna's position. Therefore he is saying, Sab fek do. Mere paas sharan aa jao. Sarvadharman parityajya. He is telling Arjuna, what is the use of all this knowledge? Ekam sena vishtabhyam aham. He said, what is the use of all this Bhagavad Gita? He says, I'm just telling you, I say it boltam, but you cannot understand me. Surrender to me. You see? Why you should surrender? Because Krishna is situated in his glory, and if you understand your relationship with Krishna, you will understand I am not the body. No other way. Nobody in the creation has ever realized I am not the body. Not even the greatest of the sages. Only those who have surrendered to Krishna. Therefore Krishna says, Daivihi yesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mameva yo prabhatyante maya meta. Only those who surrender to me can understand, because if you are not the body, who are you? Jivera swarupa nitya krishnera das. If you are not the body, you are Krishna's servant. And if you don't understand who is Krishna and you don't serve him, you cannot know you are not the body. Are you following? Only then you can understand Krishna. And don't think that simply because you come and simply jump up and down, you can become Krishna conscious. No, Prabhupada says that. How long this Haribol will... Prabhupada, it won't last. You have to know the Siddhanta, philosophy. He says our movement is known for philosophy. That means those who give the classes should know the philosophy. At least they should know, like me, that I don't know. At least that much you should know. Not that sit and talk things without even knowing what is philosophy. Are you following my point? And when you hear, then you will understand. Oh, I have to hear more from His divine grace. You have to go mad. I want to hear from Prabhupada. Not just read from his books. That will not work. You don't know. We don't know these things. We don't know that this idea that Srila Prabhupada is the primary guru of everyone, in the sense that you read his books and you hear his lectures, he becomes your primary Siksha Guru. This is wrong. This philosophy is not correct. Please try to see the whole movement, we don't know anything. I don't know what to say. We, remember, not you. We all don't know. We must remember that. We must always Om Ajnana Timirandasya. Not a simple thing. So, last point, I'm sorry for giving a little bit sauce in the end. Otherwise you cannot understand. Simply nicely speaking, nothing will happen. Krishna told Arjuna, what is that verse? He says, Pragyavadam sabhashashe. You are talking some learned things, but you are speaking like a fool. It is so that it is a message for us, not for Arjuna, who is a Mahabhagavata. So when I said, last point I want to make, Prabhuji's, when I said that Prabhupada is saying, now when I said that the leopard is climbing because of whose energy? Krishna. The tiger has mechanical energy, but even that mechanical energy is given by Krishna. Right? Therefore, when Krishna, that Krishna who is the soul of the universe, when you see me, can you see my soul? You cannot. Of course, great. So when I see Krishna is everywhere, in the atom also. So when I see the stone, can I see Krishna? He is the soul. Aham Atma Gudakesha. No. But there he is showing. That is God. You are seeing the soul of the universe, not the stone. Only a fool will say this is a stone. That is like telling a mother, this is not your child, it is simply bone and flesh. She will just kill him. You rascal. I see my child, you see meat. So rascals and fools see stone, but the devotee sees God. Now we must remember that I don't have the power to see God here. In that, no. Because if I can see God there with my power, I'll see it here. Yato yato yami tato narsimho. Bhagir narsimha hridaye narsimho. Narsimha madhi. No, I cannot see Krishna. Just as the leopard cannot climb without Krishna's mercy. Just as I cannot walk without Krishna's mercy. There is a verse in the Bhagavatam. I cannot also see unless Krishna gives me the power to see. By my eyes I cannot see. Ata Sri Krishna namadi na bhaved grahyam indriyahi. Follow? So, when we come in front of the deity, we must think, oh, I am just a fool, but I am able to see you. Not that this is Gaurnitai, that is Sitaram. What do you know? Nonsense. I should tell my mind. Are you following or not following? So every day when you come, we must feel, wow, it is by Krishna's mercy. That is why it is said that Archa Avatar is Krishna's mercy that he has descended as the deity form. Which doesn't mean that we just took, no. The fact that every day when I come here, I see Gaurnitai. By his power I am seeing, not by my power. You following me? The great Acharya. So, King Kulasekara has written, Krishna tishtati sarvametat akilam. Only Krishna is there everywhere in the creation. He's saying, Krishna tishtati sarvametat akilam. So, if you actually understand Siddhanta, we can become ecstatic. Isn't it? If I understand Krishna only makes me walk and talk and chant, then I can understand. But only by Krishna's mercy I am seeing. You follow what I am saying? And so, more points are there. But how am I to preach I am not this body if actually I am this body? Once I understand that because I have created this body, I am the body. The creator is non-different from creation. Krishna has created the world, is non-different from creation. Then how can we show that Krishna is different from creation? It does not automatically happen. Or how can I show I am not the body? This is our sit. So if you want to really preach I am not this body, you have to be taught. These arguments Prabhupada says are okay to get uninitiated people here. But you also stay in the same platform? No. So Prabhupada says for public that's okay. But for devotees, it's not okay. So Prabhupada says here, this is not to be preached everywhere. So my class is for you, not for the public. These questions are not to be discussed in public, they are for higher understanding. For public, it should be this is matter, this is spirit, and you are not matter, you are spirit. For public. You have to understand the Siddhanta, otherwise you cannot understand. So, how to preach I am not the body when we are the bodies? That will give us the adhikar to preach. Even though I have not self-realized, I can preach I am not. That will be even more powerful. And last point, it says, those who are completely intelligent describe the activities of the Lord. Who are the people who are completely intelligent? I said they can see Krishna in everything, right? This Siddhanta that I told you, I just want to ask you a simple question. Suppose I toss this coin. How many results can come? One of? How many? One of how many? How many results are possible? 2 results. So, one is head, one is tail. So, if I toss this coin, what is the result? Can you tell? Why you can't tell? Anji? No, but why you are not able to tell? See, you try to understand. I say now I want to lift this bottle. I lifted it, no? Suppose I say I want to toss head and I put it. Is it possible? Can I say I'll make sure toss head will come? Why not? Huh? Prabhu, here also I may lift, I may not lift. You are not even seeing, you are not even, kaun bola? Yes. So, please give him some Mahaprasad today. It is not in our control. Correct. You understood? That is correct. Vaishnava brain. I cannot control and say I want head or I want tail. This is known as the issue of probability. It has got deep points. And if you study this coin toss, you can understand idam hi vishwam. Try to understand that. Don't think scientists are fools. Don't think scientists are fools. You understand my point? You are illiterate and you don't know anything, but you call them fools. No. Just by, how many of you are surprised by studying this coin toss, you can actually understand idam hi vishwam. Krishna is the creation. Those who are surprised, put your hand up. Those who are not surprised, put your left hand. This is a point. Non-stop. I can go for 10 hours and give you ideas that you have never heard in your life from Bhagavatam. But we are not here to show our vidvat. How am I understanding all this? Because Prabhupada told me, understand coin toss. And in understanding, I have understood all this. You cannot read these books and explain, not possible. Are you following? So you have to sevaya. Tadviddhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. It's a great science. It's a great science. So, therefore, I don't speak and I just sit and do my work. But I wanted to today make this one point, that our Siddhanta is Achintya Bheda Abheda philosophy. It is not simply a combination of different philosophies. No. If it was combination of Advaita and Dvaita, Advaita will not be called superior. But Achintya is, Abheda is superior to Bheda. So, anyone can understand carpentry is different from the table. But how can you understand carpentry is not different from the table? That is also possible in science. That's what we are. So, it's a great, great Siddhanta. How many of you are now getting a little feeling that Gaudiya Vaishnava Vedanta is great? Put your hand up. Yes. This is possible only in Prabhupada's temple. If you understand Prabhupada, otherwise you will be speaking nonsense in the name of Prabhupada. I'm sorry. I want to say it. I don't care if people think I'm proud, if people say, oh, Rasaraj doesn't. Yes. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur wrote once, in the service of my spiritual master, if I'm going to be called arrogant, he says, I'm happy to be called so. So I'm not really getting into my mood, now I'm getting into my mood. So I prepared, I gave a simple class, just so that you can understand. So I'm begging repeatedly, please do not simply continue. Try to inquire, how can I actually learn the correct Siddhanta? By hearing from His divine grace. How to do that. That is the science of Krishna consciousness, nothing else. Nothing else. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Oh, any comments or questions? At least one I will take. There is one question I must ask. Everybody put hand up, I'll select. Whoever wants to ask. Yes? Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Krishna
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Yeah, Prabhuji, as you mentioned that scientists always have a solid proof for everything. But we find...
I never said that. Solid
they have a proof. They don't
have.
Speculate, you mentioned. Okay. But
they speculate in a particular way, but they confirm their speculation right or wrong by referring to nature, and they are ready to accept they are wrong. That's their procedure.
Yeah, but we found this theory of Big Bang theory, which was very famous. And they mentioned that everything, there was a particular, that sound which came, and how the world was created like this, came into existence.
Sound?
By sound. One sound was there was something blast, a sound came, and the whole world was created, and many countries put money into it. But later on we found that it was a failure. Also in other theories where they mentioned that a person can go on the moon, but Prabhupada says that person can never go on the moon. They might have gone to the Rahu planet, but it is not possible for a person to go on the moon. Also Darwin's theory, which states that man was a monkey and we were monkeys, and then we became...
What is you have studied? You have got a degree?
I have not got a degree, but as I have come across...
Okay, so one of your questions is very interesting. That middle question. What was that middle question?
Going on the moon.
Yes. I want to discuss that, okay? Because it will take very long time to discuss everything. But if you don't mind, the way you presented Big Bang is not correct. There was no sound. Big Bang is just a popular word. Technically, it's called a singularity. Science is science. We cannot just read something idhar-udhar and speak. That's why I said, even if you have a BTech, MTech, PhD, you cannot somebody came from Delhi temple once to Berkeley 2 years ago. They said, Prabhuji, we are coming from Delhi temple. I said, okay. Husband and wife, PhD in molecular biology at AIMS, and they have come to present a paper in Berkeley. You must think like they are big scientists. Oh, we have one Science and Spirituality Institute. It's not authorized by Prabhupada. It's somebody competing with Prabhupada. It is not a real, institute. How do we know that? Why do you say like that? Oh, you are very puffed up, you are very... No, but these people came and Grantaraj Prabhu, you remember? You said Indian couple has come, molecular biologists, they want to see you. I said, okay. They came, Prabhu, we are from Delhi, we have heard about you. I said, okay, I hope it's not all bad. Then they said, Prabhuji, we have read your papers. We don't understand one word. The PhDs, by the way. They were honest. I said, it's difficult. Just because you are M.Tech, B.Tech, PhD, you don't become anybody. But if you are taught properly, if you are a PhD, you could learn the real science. So my only humble request is, no, that's not. And Darwin also saying he came from monkey. That's not evolutionary theory. It's very technical. And you should know where to press the button. Marmastan kahan hai? You understand? In a Gusti match, the fellow is much more stronger than you. In one way, than you and me. Not Prabhupada. Prabhupada just didn't even bother. Nonsense, speculators. He is very great. Okay, he knows. Nobody had enough knowledge to argue against Prabhupada. Prabhupada wanted, devotees tried to argue. Nobody could challenge in such a way that he can reveal the deeper points. So Prabhupada didn't bother much. So, but the point is that it is not like that. Big Bang and evolution are not like that. So, if you are meeting an enemy in a Gusti, you should know kahan pakadne ka unko. Otherwise, you cannot defeat him.
Sorry to interrupt, but maybe I'm not clear about the Big Bang theory, but ultimately it was a failure because so many countries put money into it,
Prabhu,
and ultimately it was lost.
Can you please tell that devotees mana hai is argument? You should not talk like this about things. You are saying so many countries put money in evolution. People will laugh at you. Nobody puts money into evolution like they put into semiconductor industry. Kahan se aapko aisa? No. Forget all that. But you made one good question about moon. Let me just finish it with an answer for that. No. Sevatula. Any complaints? Okay or? Once upon a time, there was a Bhakti Shastri course here. At the end of the course, they asked me to come and address those graduates. So I went and sufficiently I was praising them. In between, one fellow came, said, Prabhuji, some TV fellows have come and one devotee has said that we have not gone to moon. And they are very angry. The TV fellows came, some from TV. They are very angry. They are saying, what kind of a thing you are saying that people have not gone to moon? What kind of a movement is this? And I was president at that time. So they said, no, you go and speak to our president, he's a PhD. No, mujhe usme fasa diya. Suddenly they said, okay, no, president is a PhD in physics, you go and ask him. They said, we want to see this PhD. Who is this fellow? We want to see him. How can he say that? They're shocked. This is not something you should tell to public unless you understand. But we speak. Don't ever speak like this in public. You should know what it is. But so what happened? I also don't know why Prabhupada has said. Remember this. Prabhupada says something. I can have some speculation. Now I can answer better. I know something. But this was about 20, 30 years ago. So they came. They came directly to that Bhakti Shastri room in the school building with all the cameras. Are you the president here? Are you a PhD in physics? Yeah. Chalo. Camera, roll karo. And they put the thing. I'm saying, what is this? They're saying, now, did your Guru Maharaj say that, they didn't go to moon? I said, of course, he said. Do you accept it? I said, yes. Can you explain why? I said, no. He said, how you are a PhD? Chalu hai TV? Haan, chalu hai. See. No. Yes. You have to be very careful. We cannot defeat any of these people without Prabhupada's help. Prabhupada himself said, I cannot defeat scientists, but Krishna is on my side, I can defeat them. So what happened? I told him, Prabhupada said many things. You understand? I was also in Italy once, long time ago. And they also told me, Sunday class he gives, Italy university students are coming from Padua. Padua is where Galileo studied. That's where modern science started, Prabhu. In Padua I was there. So he asked that you please explain to these people, they have studied, they are not believing that moon is a heavenly planet. Because Armstrong has gone and he has seen only dust. I will come to that next. So this person I said, Prabhupada says many things. Prabhupada not only said they didn't go to moon, Prabhupada also said something even more shocking. What is that? He said, I am not the body. That's also shocking. He said that also? I said, yes, he said that also. I can explain that to you as a PhD in physics. I said, if you understand that, we can go to the next topic, how they didn't go to moon. See, somebody tells you, from here you ask him how to go to Nariman Point. Very important point. Follow? Nariman Point. He says, go out. There is a main gate will be here, temple. Go there, left, there will be another main. Then you go left, right, and then the road will turn, and then you will see a bus stop. In that bus you take, say, 272 bus, something. He gives directions. When you go there, you don't see a door. You'll come back. You'll say, "Arey, there is no door." I told them, TV was rolling. But if you have the door, say, okay, you must be right, let me go. Then you see the main gate, you go out. If you don't see main gate, you'll come back. So when they give various points, and if all of them are turning out to be right, you want to know that you think that the rest will be right. So Prabhupada said many things starting from I am not the body. I said many things that I have understood and accept and I have seen as a PhD it's correct. So I have faith that will also be correct. And I said, but I can also give you explanation how he is right. But before I get there, I want you to take this point, I am not the body, I am soul. And I want to see whether you understand that. Can we discuss that? He said, TV rolling? He said, yes. Band karo, he said. No, okay, then fine. I hope you understand the logic. You can't simply say everything Prabhupada says I'll understand if you have not even understood the basics. Are you following this? So in the Padua, I asked those boys, very important question. You should know how to preach science with respect to science, I'm saying. Even normally, I'm not the body, how to preach is not so easy. I asked them, suppose Armstrong had gone to moon and seen nice lawns, nice buildings, animals, birds, right? Suppose he had seen instead of just dust. Do you all think that scientists would accept there is life on moon? Suppose you have seen big bungalows, everything. They said yes, right? So how many of you accept that if Armstrong had gone to moon and seen all these things, people, birds, houses, animals, rivers, then scientists will not be able to argue there is no life on moon. Correct? If they had seen that. How many of you agree? Put your right hand. You all agree. Actually, you are wrong. I told the boys, because on earth, where they see lawns and rivers and trees and animals and birds and people, they say there is no life here. There is only man. They will never go anywhere and accept. So I said, forget the fact that Bhagavatam description is different from science about moon. The Bhagavatam description about earth is also different from science. What is life here? So let us understand that first. This is why Prabhupada always said, understanding I am not the body is the most basic. Properly understand it. And today we saw a little bit. So for everything that's important. You following? Our Siddhanta is very deep. And we are ingrained in this idea that scientists are fools. Scientists are wrong, scientific theories are wrong. No. From Bhagavatam viewpoint, you must understand why it is correct. Prabhupada himself is written in the 5th canto that the idea, the evolutionary idea that life comes from matter is to some extent correct. It is in the Bhagavatam in the 5th canto. So Prabhupada knows everything. We only know something and we try to imitate him. So my humble opinion, request is, please let us not argue about these things. Whatever we know, in Tamil we say, "Moota katti vai," So isko ek bag banao, whatever you know, put it in a kapda, बांध लो, दूर में रखो. उसके बाद कान को खोलो और सुनो. Then only we can, based on what we know, if we try to process, it will be very difficult. It may not be a nice message to give. Forgive me if I'm not saying it rightly. But I've tried my best to make you feel something more is there. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.